We want to say shout out to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, 1812 Barbecue, and Blue Collar Cycle Shop, and Hook, Line, and Heroes. Without you, this episode would not be possible. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Blue Collar Cycle Studio right here in beautiful Concord, North Carolina. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the starting lineup. To my left, your right, running the controls is producer Brian.
Hey, guys.
Now you hear him, now you don't. It is Magic Man running video.
Greetings, podcast listeners.
I, of course, be your host, Biggun, and across the way is the pride of Anderson, South Carolina. But most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue won 2016's honorable mention heavyweight fighter of the year, the inventor of the redneck egg roll. Give it up on old Mike number one. It's Mojo!
Yo, yo, yo. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You can find us on interwebs at southernfriedphilosophy.com. We just recently updated the website, or I should say we. I had no part in it.
We all chipped in.
Yeah. So you have
Robert.
right there on the opening page in the mobile site, you have our playable links there. You can just open up a separate tab between Pornhub and your work queue, and then Southern Fried Philosophy. So that way you can flip over, that way you look,
Don't do that, please.
But anyway, you can listen to us there. Yeah, here are show notes there on our website. Well, I could kind of give you a tactile answer on how to do this. But anyway, you can also find us on the Facebooks at facebook.com. Just go to Southern Fried Philosophy. I don't know why I said facebook.com, but hey, it still works. Thanks to all the new page likes we have here recently.
Come on with it.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys engaging with us. I think we had a Girl Scout cookie thing that was pretty interactive. It's something stupid I posted, but anyway. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just go there, hit subscribe. First, you got to search Southern Fried Philosophy. Look for our iconic red and yellow logo there. Just hit subscribe. Give us a like, a review. Please review. Even if it's bad, just review us. There's no such thing as negative publicity, but we appreciate that.
Just ask the president.
Every day. But you can also check us out on the Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. If you want to be an SFP Insider, check out our Patreon link, patreon.com/SFP Radio. This week, coming up on March the 9th, we have got an SFP Insiders event only.
For real this time.
For real. We're not going to cancel it. So
when is that? March 9th?
March 9th. It's on your calendar, Mojo. We talked about this.
Yeah, okay.
It's just for our insiders. You get to go behind the scenes at Commoner's Brewery. We're going to be, just SFP uncensored. This is where I hide under the table, and Mojo starts using all the cuss words that he wants to, and then we review.
I don't call them cuss words.
You call them
words.
I call them Old English.
Speaking of, did you listen to the last episode?
Which one?
Where we went to SCI.
Oh, yeah. Great. That was a great episode, guys. Yeah.
But did you hear the fact that I reached out to your History of English podcast guy, and he's going to come on the show?
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. You clearly
I did. No, I know. I did listen to it. I just didn't listen. I didn't listen to it all.
Okay. All right.
But no, it's a great. Actually, the guys from SCI were. It's very interesting how and how they're going to try to rebrand, I guess, for North America a little bit here in America, just trying to get some of the younger hunters and stuff. And I think it's phenomenal. I mean, honestly, after listening to it, I'm like, I think we should probably see if we can maybe go to see if they'll fly us in on Leon's cigar private jet.
Uncle Leon.
Yeah, and we'll just do these live events.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Do it.
I want to say shout out to our listeners from Washington, D.C., Wichita, and Wilmington. This episode brought to you by the letter W. I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week. Producer Brian, how you doing?
I'm good. I was reminded of something this evening that burns my biscuits.
Ooh,
I gotta say.
Come on.
this is gonna be fun to talk about in this room, but people that park backwards, they back into parking spaces.
Oh boy.
That don't drive a half-ton pickup. Or more than that pickup.
Just like a regular car.
And
yeah,
guess
like
how
a Crown Victoria or something.
somebody is pointing somebody out.
Send your emails to headlines at SFP Radio.
No, so
I've got them right next to me.
Actually, this is a complete coincidence that I saw your car when I pulled in the parking lot. I was getting dinner tonight, and I'm packed, a very full parking lot. I'm driving behind somebody, and they stop. Okay, and then I'm not giving them enough space, first of all.
Well, there's your...
Because I'm hungry. I'm ready to park and get in there and get a taco. I didn't get a taco for the record. But back into the space, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, he's looking at me,
I'm
and
looking
I'll
at
tell
you
you why.
as a culprit.
So just,
as a short vehicle driver, actually, I can't say mine's short. Mine's a boat.
Yours is not short.
It's. I call it grandma. It's grandma key, grandma. Anyways.
Okay, I got you.
It's a big car, but the reason why I do it is because it's hard when I get SUVs on either side of me or large trucks. It's hard to see when I'm trying to back out to be able to go.
They'll stop.
Plausible.
I back in, and then that way when I'm pulling out, I can see and I don't cause a wreck.
I feel like it's way too much trouble to back into it.
I got it down to
just pulling.
Okay, let me tell you something. Before I had this car and past cars, I had a 1990 Chevy conversion van. I'd back that sucker up into a parking space like nobody's business. I also had a 75 Chevy pickup truck, no power steering, and I could back that thing with one finger. That's the way to do it.
It's
Getting her
just
done
too
right
much
there.
trouble. Now, you have to because you drive the monster truck, right?
I have to in a lot of situations just because the way parking lots are designed these days.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't give you enough room to do squat.
You can turn sharper backing up probably than you can.
I can, and plus also pulling out too. You got a wider angle, so it's a little different. So
sure.
Now,
perpetually 12 years
I will
old,
tell you, I am courteous, though, is that if I see somebody behind me, I'll pull over out of the way, let them go around me before I go and back in.
We need more folks like you out
but
there.
I also make a huge effort. I will park far out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
you do
just because people, I mean, they don't care. Yeah, they're going to ding up, and of course my truck's so wide that I fold in the mirrors and stuff. I mean,
my dad has a similar size truck.
I park out.
I'm not pointing at the truck drivers. Leave me alone, okay?
Right.
It's
it's the
everything else, literally.
Yeah.
I don't. It just drives me crazy. And I know there's a certain subset of the population that does this more than others.
Oh boy, send your emails.
Yeah, to was it Mojo Ed, right?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's the complaint department right there. So.
Hey, do you roll coal?
No, I can't do it. These new diesels, you can't do them. My old 7.3, you could do it a little bit.
Wait,
but
what just happened?
There's something called rolling coal, basically black smoke of a diesel. Like you basically interrupt the map sensor in a vehicle where it just dumps a lot of oxygen and diesel into it, and it just rolls black smoke out. So that's why they call it rolling coal. So,
what's the purpose of that?
To be a douchebag.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Like me doing burnouts. Gotta let a rip tater chip.
It's like when you see a guy on a liquor sickle and he's going really slow and taking up the traffic. You pump the diesel a couple times and just roll by and black smoke them out.
I got a ticket for passing one of those one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Because it got a moped going to the liquor store.
Moped.
Literally moped going to the liquor store.
Well, it's because they got DUIs. And that's the only thing they can use. So
you don't have to have a license to drive a moped. Really?
Exactly.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
you probably can even drink and drive on it.
But you can get
booze
arrested
in your cup holder and get back home.
But you can get arrested for riding a tractor or a lawnmower.
Well, that's different. Mopeds are at least considered some type of travel vehicle exception. So yeah.
George Jones did the lawnmower without any problems.
Yeah, that was a country song.
Did he? Magic Man, now you see me, now you don't. How you be doing?
Be doing great.
Doing all right. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Welcome to come. And also tell folks kind of what you're doing here on the show.
I'll be glad to. So what we're going to try to do is take this show to the next level yet again.
Again.
It's always a pursuit of perfection.
Have we reached the first level?
We
Level
did it.
one?
We just kept moving on. We're still on level 1.
No, but what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be recording a video of us doing these recordings as well as hopefully live streaming. So
you're recording this recording.
I am recording this recording. I'm noticing that the cameras are doing funky things as you Biggun, as you can probably see.
Right now.
You're frozen. So
That's good TV right there.
that's good TV right there. That's right. So and some of the cameras are coming in like the webcams from the mid 2000s
Careful.
where it's
Hey, Skinamax.
Careful. Mhm.
kind of herky jerky.
Subscribe to my Cam Girl subscription.
It's a theme to this show for sure so
What
far.
if we created a Cam Girl
Oh, that would be-
subscription and we just do the show?
And just have a plate of biscuit and
Oh.
gravy just sitting there on camera.
Make sure you tape it
Yeah.
like the banana.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Let's do it.
Mojo, how you be doing?
Can I say something and you edit it out?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I just got to say, I
Do
got
it.
to say it for impact because
Sure.
I'm sure everyone feels like me. I've come to this realization that if you're driving a box, you don't know how to drive.
Mm.
I mean, how many times I've been on an interstate, I'm doing 5-10 miles over the speed limit cruise set,
Yep.
and some little box comes around me doing 90 miles an hour, no turn signals or nothing, half their fender
yeah.
flying off.
Gotcha.
They just drive
There's
like a
letting her
bat
eat.
out of, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, raise hell, praise Dale. I mean, I'm nowhere near that, but Jesus, I mean,
Hell yeah, brother.
and you're like, man, no wonder you drive one of these because, you're doing 90 miles an hour in a 65.
Boop, boop.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Irritates me.
I
Sitting
understand.
on 85.
Why do you think I drive a Grand Marquis? Inconspicuous.
Right? Everyone slows down around you, right?
Everybody slows down and I just, pew, I'm gone.
The reverse of that is when you're going 80 and then like there's somebody in the fast lane going 45.
Mm.
Now that burns my biscuit.
That
Yeah.
burns we're talking charcoal biscuits right there for
Yeah.
me.
I think
Okay.
I can't
think they're-
stand it when people
I
go slow in
think
the left
South
lane.
Carolina just is trying to pass a bill right now that actually makes that illegal.
Ooh, good for them.
There's states that is illegal, that if there's nobody in front of you and there's people coming up behind you, you have to get over if you can get over.
Well,
They need
I know in Pennsylvania you can't stay in that lane. You're
Mhm.
supposed to stay in the
Mhm.
fast lane.
Yeah, understand. I got you. Guys, I got an update on my phone this past week. I need your all's help and help me understand what I should do with this situation. Those Ninja pillows have finally shipped.
Oh, nice.
Um,
From Wuhan.
What continent? Yeah, that's oh no.
Oh,
I did not know this when I purchased said Ninja pillows, but right now they're in Singapore.
Ooh.
Okay.
Y'all, what do I do with these things? They're on their way here. I'm pretty sure.
You just leave them on the back porch for a week, and then you bring them in.
I'm sure they're laced with the coronavirus right now. I
So-
looked, and Wuhan is not too far from where these things are at.
What, 5,000 miles, 3,000?
Oh, no.
They're in China.
They're in China.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to it.
So I literally had the same thing happen. I just bought a new computer,
Okay.
configured from Apple, and they shipped it. It's built in China and shipped.
Oh, buddy.
I intentionally shipped it to the store so they would open up the box
Yeah.
Oh.
and get
Ooh.
all whatever at the store, and then because they're built in like a sealed factory. Like you can't get
But the
a
outside
sandwich in those places.
is not.
But like the
You're
boxing, the packaging was in. I didn't touch any of it. Some poor soul. At the
Are you
Apple
looking to
store.
see if there's outbreaks in
And
Charlotte?
then like a week later, the CDC has some stuff on the
oh,
some big
Lord.
meeting. Like crap, it was me.
Yeah. Ground zero.
North Lake Apple Store.
Yeah.
So what do I do with these things? Do I legitimately just leave them on the back porch and just like not touch them? Just said wash them. I don't know if they're washable.
That's laundromat.
But I need to. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I need to like read the tag to see if they are washable, or do I just like throw them?
I think you have a
directly in the
test
trash?
guinea pig.
All right, Magic Man, you're the new guy.
Find somewhere to sleep over.
Well, this is your
And
neighbor has an Airbnb. Just throw them in there.
There you
yeah.
go.
And
They'll
then,
never know what
what's
happened.
an incubation of 14 days or something like that? So, if someone comes up sick in 2 weeks, and you're
Then you're okay.
you're not okay.
I mean, it's okay for me because I'm not.
Yeah. But maybe they got it all.
Y'all, like they're in Shanghai. Sorry, Shanghai.
I think everything goes through Shanghai.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's the delivery thing. I'm showing you. So here's the purple dot. Everybody can
Right.
see the purple dot.
Mm.
Wuhan is like right here.
Oh, wow.
There's like a river between them. You're fine.
Zombies can't cross rivers.
So I'm thinking I'm just going to throw them away. Anyway,
How much did you pay for them?
$50 for two of them, by the way.
Oh,
For the pair, it was $50.
for two, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to throw them away.
I don't know.
I wonder if there's a
man.
way you could apply heat. Like,
Lysol?
if there's like heat
Oh wait,
that's
yeah, Lysol.
Lysol will kill
Lysol.
MRSA, and they say their coronavirus is like a MRSA like
It's the
virus.
1%.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be my luck.
It's
No,
the one,
Lysol kills MRSA.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Lysol kills almost everything.
99.9%.
I want to know what it doesn't kill, but it kills almost everything.
Yeah, I don't want that thing.
I think that's kind of like the
get lemon
9
syrup.
out of 10 doctors type thing. You know,
toothpaste.
Yeah.
I'll make myself useful and look it up here.
All right. Thank you.
Crackpot research team here.
Got to make myself useful.
There you go.
Speaking of making yourself useful, I sent out a questionnaire to our SFP listeners to say, what questions do you have for the show? Ask us anything. And our top fan from Facebook, and just I think our top fan in general, said, for Biggun, Mojo, and for myself, what is one of your favorite memories of the show so far? So I'm going to throw that out to you guys. Let you guys ponder, think about it for a minute. What is your favorite memory so far of the show? This is where we'll play the Jeopardy music.
I think it's some of the experiences we've had outside the studio through connections we've made with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I go back to Ireland this year, I get to meet up with Serge again.
Yeah.
From Irish Whiskey Magazine. He was part of the first 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Having countless breaking bread with you guys over some booze, and then Leon cigars, and all the constant introductions he's he's always doing. I mean, I think that's probably some of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, favorite episodes. I mean, just obviously self-centered. I think relaying my experience in life. You know, having my cardiac nurse team on, having my donor's mother on, things like that. Selfishly, are some of my favorite moments there too.
Yeah,
sure. I think for me, like one most memorable for me, really the Southern Strain show we did.
Oh yeah,
on site. It was just fun. I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun doing that. There's a lot going on around us. It was just a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. I think every week when we get to hang out and just do the show is, serious or as silly as we can get. I just enjoy the camaraderie with you guys. Also, just the Southern Strain pops out. The Red Hill event that we did kind of pops out. Even the SCI event with producer Brian. I think for me it was just a really cool experience to feel like we kind of sort of arrived, because they were very hospitable to us. They're like, whatever you guys need, just let us know. We'll get it for you. And so that was kind of like a fleeting moment of like, hey, we arrived somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know exactly where we're at, but we're here.
Well,
that was a good moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I think as we continue to grow, I think we'll have more and more of these moments.
Sure.
And hopefully we never lose sight of of where we've been and where we've come through. I mean, this has come to a lot of time. Just we get to hang out. It's great dedication time, but we could be with our families. We could be doing other things.
Yeah.
And I think we just keep that in perspective. So yeah, I mean, but anytime we get to have an excuse to drink or smoke a cigar,
It's always a good
it's
one.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or talk about food. I think that's pretty awesome.
No doubt. If you're in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out our friends at Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom, exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991, or check out his new website at watchmancigars.com or the sponsor section of our website. Speaking of the SCI event, you have, producer Brian, the word meatloaf.
I do.
On here. Let's talk about
I feel like we left things unsettled last week.
I would agree with that.
And I really want your take, Mojo, on meatloaf.
Yeah, I'm still confused by this whole thing, but I think you did a great representation of tearing his whole meatloaf theory recipe apart.
Right?
Sure.
So,
can you give some background of...
Yeah, so last week, if those that did not listen to the SCI event, we were talking to Uncle Leon in the front half of the show a little bit, and I was talking about keto meatloaf and how terrible my experience has been so far. And he jumped in talking about the way he makes meatloaf. which is just basically vegetables and meat in a cylinder shape, I would say.
Right.
Baked. And my response was, that's not meatloaf. That's like a hamburger steak because it doesn't sound like meatloaf to me.
No, not at all.
You know, put some sauce
No
or something in
binder or
there,
anything.
some binder. So, my thought was, everyone, I think this is one of those foods that everybody does different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's
right?
no universal
There's
way.
not this is meatloaf. Because you can go to even just restaurants and you think, why would I eat meatloaf? Some people, you say meatloaf and it brings up different kinds of memories. Some people are like, oh no, you think about that frozen stuff from the 70s or something. Mm-hmm. Or like my mom made a great meatloaf growing up. And I love it. And I can't make it the way she makes it because it takes 3 hours to cook and hers only took an hour to cook. I don't understand that. But same ingredients.
Medium rare meatloaf.
Yeah.
She used 1 pound. You use like 16 pounds of hamburger. Is that the difference?
I use less meat too, but I don't know.
What are you
I haven't
doing
got it right.
wrong?
Anyway, I can't get her recipes right, but that's a thing I think across the spectrum with getting passed down stuff. But it's to me, it's like one of those things that kind of it's a defining moment for somebody, or you think about what your experience was with meatloaf growing up, or if you make one, or you just hear about an interesting one. I don't know. I could just make a whole podcast about meatloaf probably.
Oh, what if we did a SFP meatloaf podcast?
That would be awesome.
So how do you make meatloaf, Mojo? Let's talk about that.
Actually go to your butcher and ask them for a meatloaf style grind or chili grind. It's a little thicker grind.
Okay.
I usually try to use a little leaner meat because like my cheeseburgers, hamburgers, things like that, I use like a fatty meat, like 80-20.
Yeah.
On the meatloaf, I use like a 90-10 just because you don't have a lot of grease and shrinkage.
Well, it like makes a pool in your pan too.
Exactly.
To drain it off.
A couple of eggs, it all depends, man. Like, sometimes if you have fancy bread like brioche, then you use that, or you can use just standard old white loaf, or just all depends.
So you're putting bread in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, as a binder. Okay. I've used also, when I didn't have eggs, I've also used mayonnaise because mayonnaise has egg in it and it acts as a binder. So I've done that before. I'm not big on a ton of vegetables, but I will use like sauteed onions, and I will pre-saute bell peppers because bell pepper baked has that kind of taste. It's kind of acidic taste, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
You got to have some type of barbecue or ketchup inside, just kind of that, or I like using Dijon mustard. It's kind of a different take. And that's pretty much it. And then I'll bake it, try to baste it with something creative. Like I like making like a teriyaki barbecue. It's pretty good. Okay. Then I will eat meatloaf, but of course meatloaf, you have a boatload of leftovers always. So. Sure. Well, when I if I'm going to make effort and make meatloaf, I'm going to have leftovers intentionally. So I'll slice it, and then like the next day I'll slice it up cold, and then I'll grill it up on a cast iron pan with some caramelized onions and gravy or whatever. It's good. Yeah, so a little different.
So that sounds delicious. My dad, how he taught me to make it was we diced up the onions, and then put the meatloaf in a bowl. Put the onions in, salt, pepper. For every pound, it's 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers, just crumbled up.
A whole, for a pound.
I think so. Or you have to like feel the texture, to see if it's too dry or not, whatever. But then we're also adding 1 egg per pound. Ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire. Did I say it? Worcestershire?
Close.
How do you say it?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, yeah.
And then this is where we get a little dicey, guys. Is we'll put it in the pan, press it down. Then I go and I poke holes all around the meatloaf. And then I'll pour, I'm not going to say drizzle, I'm going to pour ketchup on top and then honey on top. And then you bake it 350 for I think about an hour, and then boom.
We need a meatloaf potluck.
I do like substituting ketchup for the Heinz chili sauce. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. Yeah,
and I've recently learned about that.
Yeah, I love making sauces out of that chili sauce.
Oh,
you have to check it out. It's looks like a similar ketchup bottle, glass bottle, but it's a little more richer.
Yeah, I make meatballs with that around Thanksgiving with cranberry sauce and chili sauce.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Really good.
I'll have to introduce y'all to the flavors of some of the, dang it, what do they call it? The hot sauce with the rooster on it. Sri Raka.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sriracha.
Yeah.
They actually, the same company makes several other products. They make a thing called Sambal Olik.
Oh yeah,
that's phenomenal. And also their chili garlic paste too, phenomenal. So that's a great like binder and stuff like that. If you're trying to do something a little different, that's an excellent product.
So my last thing on the meatloaf, I actually saw a recipe which made me want to think about this. It was Alton Brown. I just happened to catch it on a video or something. He was talking about he made a smoked meatloaf.
Ooh.
And the the meat fill or whatever, but he did like a ketchup and a chipotle chilies chopped up in it on the inside, and he basted with that. But his binder, his like dry stuff, was barbecue potato chips. And I was like, okay, that just sounds interesting to me.
I feel like they would get really soggy though.
It probably absorbs into the meat.
Yeah, I think they probably.
Yeah. Then I've also made them with a stovetop as the crackers.
Dressing.
Barbecue sauce in there, and like cheddar cheese, and like chicken stovetop or pork stovetop.
I think we legitimately need to make our meatloaves and then taste
meatloaf is such a comfort food though. Like you can have bad meatloaf, but for most time it's edible. I mean, and I think it's one of it's a very underappreciated dish too, because a lot of restaurants don't even carry it anymore.
Because you're gonna go spend money at a restaurant. Do you want the meatloaf or like the halibut or something?
I agree. I mean, it's a very hearty, heavy dish too. When you dig into it, because everyone's going to throw in like taters or whatever, some type of mashed stuff in there. But it's such a. It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
it's a warm and fuzzy food. So,
I think we need to do it. Let's make it happen, Captain.
All right,
bring your meatloaves, and if you have meatloaves, please don't send them to the studio for us to taste test them.
Oh, we need to put a mailing address.
Meatloaf, a hell of a singer too.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We will now be sued for copyright infringement. I love it. Guys, this coronavirus, we were joking about it earlier, but hey, buddy, CDC is now saying that it is
Corona.
Oh, I thought that was a pop top.
That's my Corona sound.
Oh, wow. That's all.
You get canned Corona, right?
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought it was all bottles.
You can get a can, just don't show it in commercials.
Oh, well, how about it?
Yeah.
Guys, like, I sent you guys a text. Like, CDC saying it's coming. It's not a matter of if or when, and your lives are going to be completely disrupted by this thing. What are your thoughts? Do we need to be like go in the bunker and hide now at this point? Do we need to go buy Jim Baker's 5 years of food?
Well, I mean, if Jesus tells you to support Jim Baker, then go for it.
I actually saw an article today, something about the way the media blows it out of proportion.
No.
If you imagine that.
Imagine.
I mean, if you think about it, look what happened. We had Zika virus, SARS,
bird flu,
pig whatever it was,
regular flu,
pig swine,
and actually
swine flu.
The regular flu has more people sick and has killed more people this year than the coronavirus.
Yeah,
so
2%.
You remember Ebola? Ebola was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Zika was definitely huge.
Yeah.
I think. Do I worry about it right now? No, because I think it's probably going to eventually burn itself out here come shortly, just because of the change of seasons. I think I'd be kind of curious to. I love my conspiracy rabbit holes I go down, so I'd be kind of curious to see if this originated in that level, one of China's only level 5 chemical biohazard warfare laboratories they have there is actually in Wuhan. So I'd be kind of curious to see if that.
I've heard that was the case. Here's my counter argument to that: if this is a bioweapon that that China is manufacturing to destroy the world, why is it only killing 2% of the population? Like, that is the worst.
Well, because actually, 2% is still a lot of people.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, I mean, because I think Spanish flu eradicated quite a few people, back in the early 1920s or whatever it was. No, I was listening to a pathologist on a podcast about this, and he said that the way the coronavirus is mapped, this particular coronavirus actually attacks people that are predisposed genetically to certain syndromes and stuff like that. So that's the reason why it's only affecting so many people right now, is that eventually it can mutate and go to other things. But right now, I'd have to go back and replay this. But there's a pathologist out of Houston is talking about how right now there's certain genomes and a certain genetic grouping that it only affects. So maybe the disease was designed to wipe out those specific 2%. It could be. And I think, a lot of times governments are always looking. It's amazing how we have these biowarfare things. I mean, and we have people that literally go and try to design the most devastating diseases out in the world if you wanted to wipe a population out, you can. But then they also try to create the vaccine for it too. So they try to create the problem and then create a solution. Yeah. So it's a little quirky. It's a little crazy, but I think every major country has this. I mean, it's not, America's wholesale provider in this. China obviously has it too. But going back to, should we fear it right now? I don't think so. There's a lot of things at play. I mean, obviously China's taking it serious now, like really serious. They're closing down their schools. They're quarantining, this and that. You've had some recent contact in Iran, deaths in Iran, deaths in Italy. I think they're the first European country that have it. But can it flop over and turn into something huge? Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think we have a pretty good contagion area in here as far as our practices, as far as, like, hey, everyone knows to wash their hands. Everyone knows to, use this. Everyone knows that we have antibiotics. I mean, granted, there's probably not a lot of products that help this, but I think we have a great kind of health and safety thing here right now.
Are you guys scared at all?
No, I'm not scared.
Magic Man?
Actually, I got to go to L.A. next week, and I'm going to be getting a mask and probably gloves.
Ooh.
And probably buy some Lysol wipes in one of the gift shops in the airport. Just because, not necessarily for the coronavirus, but the last time I flew, coming back, I caught a bad cold.
You take the Lysol wipe and you put it inside your mask.
Yeah.
And you strap
there
it
you
on
go.
your face.
Then
you pass out.
Then you pass out from the fumes. But I remember one time I was flying, and there was an older couple that was wiping down the seat. And this is several years ago, and I was thinking, that is just crazy. Not anymore. It's like, man, they were pretty smart.
I do the same thing when I check into a hotel. I wipe down those
Probably
sheets.
smart, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who knows what's...
All right, so let's move on. Did you guys see the...
Well, hold on. I would like to just mark this for kind of history, though. I mean, the biggest thing I'm afraid of is the stock market.
Well, yeah,
How
I was
about
going to say that. You sent us a link earlier in the week about how the stock market dropped big time.
2,000 points, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just today it dropped 1,200 points.
Yeah, and that's
huge.
So much of our economy is stemmed from manufacturing in China. And if you can't get your products out, you can't meet your number, your guidance and stuff for shareholders.
Right. And I mean, between that, I mean, you may have, that's my biggest fear is the economy, because right now we've had 82,000 confirmed cases worldwide of coronavirus.
You said 82,000?
82,000 right now. Right. As of right now, we've only had 2,800 deaths globally. Okay, so that's less than 2% of that number. That's where I think we keep hearing. But you got to think, out of 7.2 billion people, we've had 84,000 confirmed cases. I guarantee there's probably, in tandem, 84,000 people that have the squirts from Krispy Kreme and Taco Bell combination at a given time.
Or Krispy Kreme and Chick-fil-A.
But I'm just saying that, I think, CDC and I think the media has really hyped up things. I think a few years back when we had the quote unquote measles outbreak, ended up being 2 people at Disney World. That
was a whooping cough.
That was the outbreak
happening now. There's two people. Yeah.
And I mean, you're like, wow, I wouldn't go full blown go get your storable water and Jim Baker 5-year pail of food. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. This hyper bloodletting that the media does, it drives me nuts. I just don't see it.
It sounds like a great time to buy stocks to me.
I think it's going to rebound. Yeah,
honestly, because everyone's going to go. Oh, it's after a week or 2 weeks. and when nothing actually happens here,
right,
it's just going to shoot back up. Probably,
you know what? Smart stock tip is probably buying Amazon and any type of delivery service type stock, because people are going to become, if this thing continues in the hype, people will become more and more recluse and not want to go out to shopping at Walmart or the grocery stores. They're going to do more and more online shopping.
I think the thing that I'm most worried about is, it's beginning summertime, spring, summer. That's when we have a lot of weddings. Did you realize that 80% of the world's wedding dresses, the U.S.'s wedding dresses, come from China? 80%.
Holy crap.
80% of everything comes from China.
What are these poor brides going to wear? I think we need to be worried about that.
Yeah.
Prom dresses?
Well, maybe
guys.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll take it a notch back and quit doing these $25,000 ridiculous weddings. I mean, all our medicine comes from China. Majority of our medicine.
That scares me.
That scares me that we have no backup plan for that. I mean, they're a good portion
like
of
Canada. They have medicine, right? That's
I guess.
The other thing that we're not thinking about is the Tokyo Olympics. We're going to go to Wacky News, brought to you by 1812 Barbecue. If you need a fantastic caterer at your next event, check out our friends at 1812 Barbecue. Guys, this is a true story, and so we also need to put this on with, no pun intended, kid gloves. Dick Pound, which is the actual man's name, will decide if the coronavirus cancels the Tokyo Olympics. So he's saying that the Tokyo Olympics could get shafted. Okay, there's no way to do this without breaking into giggles, so let's just stop beating around the bush and get straight to the point. The Olympic Committee member Dick Pound said the Tokyo Olympics could be canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. According to AP, Dick Pound says the Tokyo Olympic organizers had better think long and hard about how they're handling the coronavirus outbreak, or the committee will likely cancel the event altogether rather than postpone it or pulling out. The longest-standing member of the IOC estimates that there will be a 2 or 3 month window in deciding whether the Tokyo Olympics will be canceled or not, saying a lot of things have to start happening. You've got to start ramping up your security, your food, the Olympic Village, the hotels. The media folks will be there building their studios. Being a former professional swimmer, it's clear that Dick Pound isn't trying to shaft the Tokyo Olympics. He's merely erecting genuine concerns over the safety of all the athletes and those attending. While the truth about the coronavirus spreading is hard to swallow, Dick Pound says pretty optimistic that the Tokyo Olympics will continue as normal and encourage the 11,000 or so athletes attending to keep training. As for why the IOC doesn't just postpone the Tokyo Olympics, Dick Pound says pulling out isn't an option and nailed the argument right away by saying you just don't postpone something on the size and scale of the Olympics. There's just so many moving parts, so many countries and different seasons and competitive seasons and the television seasons. You can't just say, we'll do it in October. Dick Pound then laid down the hammer hard on why a 1 year delay isn't a possibility, saying that Japan is spending a whopping $19 billion to host the Tokyo Olympics, and they expect to have a good time rather than a premature cancellation. Guys, the Tokyo Olympics could be over.
That's for you for keeping a straight face the whole time you're reading that. I just want to say.
Wow, this writer should get the award for the most innuendo puns you could get in one stinking article.
That's a good one.
So what were they talking about? I didn't even understand. I couldn't even.
Olympics. I'll be honest. Olympics. Who cares?
I was just listening.
I know there's people. I know there's people that are diehard Olympic fans, but I could care less.
I like watching the Olympics. Like I'll have it on and just while I'm working.
I think financially for the city that has it, they end up regretting it 5 years down the road because you see all these stadiums.
100%.
Empty stuff. I did that like in Africa or South America.
Or Russia.
Brazil.
Look at Sochi where they did the Winter Olympics. I mean, that's like a deserted town. I think like 8 people live there or something now, you know?
Yeah. Bobsled whenever they want to.
Yeah. That's where the Jamaican bobsled team practices.
Hey kids, let's go bobsledding. Okay, Dad. The other thing that I thought was interesting, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we had Mardi Gras, kicked off. And one particular float has caused a stir on social media. The float reportedly shows a papier-mâché Epstein in a prison jumpsuit with a woman that resembles Hillary Clinton appearing to strangle him from behind. Adding on the side of the float says Epstein didn't kill himself. One social media user also noted that the float was followed by the Swinging Epsteins, which consisted of a bunch of convicted Jeffreys walking down the street with nooses around their necks. I just thought that was funny.
I love it how this meme has entered the zeitgeist of our conversations and everything that we do now. It still hasn't died. No bad pun intended. But it still keeps going, and I love that because this is the discussion we should be having with this until we find some real answers. I mean, you know, when they leak the new photo or the autopsy thing comes out, it just kind of proves this whole conspiracy theory that Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then to hit the Mardi Gras stage.
I didn't realize it was Mardi Gras. Like, I saw the float. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Well, today is Ash Wednesday, so.
Yeah, well, okay. Again, I don't follow that stuff.
We need to work on that.
I need a calendar for, like, this is an important date.
There is a calendar.
It's not on my calendar.
Oh, I just thought. The 1812 barbecue story started over 20 years ago when Eric and his dad started entering local barbecue competitions for fun. During that time, Eric, a United States Marine, has traveled all over the world picking up flavors and techniques that today is the unique flavor of the award-winning 1812 barbecue. He has honed his craft to bring you fall-off-the-bone pulled pork, mouth-watering ribs, and finely crafted beef brisket. Eric has developed his own amazing dry rub and delicious barbecue sauce. And let's not forget the sides: coleslaw, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, cowboy baked beans, and to top it all off, banana pudding and pecan pie for dessert. Getting hungry yet? Good. Call or email Eric at 1812barbecue and he can make your next catered meal happen. Wedding and graduation parties, family reunions, and other events will be memorable with 1812 barbecue. Want to try your own hand at smoking meats? Pick up your own 1812 dry rub and start the journey for yourself. Shipping all over the world, connect with Eric on his Facebook page, Instagram at 1812barbecue, or call 704-604-5148, or email Eric at eric.line@1812barbecue.com, and he'll be glad to help any way he can. The last one, a woman performed a spiritual ritual on a dead possum in the road, demanding that it repent. Waukesha police on Monday afternoon received calls that a woman was performing a spiritual ritual on a dead possum in the road along the intersection of Springdale and Blue Mound. The woman, who apparently stopped and got out of her car when she saw the possum, threw goldfish at it. and windshield washer fluid on the dead animal. According to the police call log, the woman then pulled out a Green Bay Packers lawn chair out of her car and yelled, "Repent" at the possum, the log said. The caller, who had been following the woman's vehicle before the incident, said the driver's behavior was erratic. Oh, you don't say. The possum was then removed from the roadway, the report said.
Were there methamphetamines involved?
That's the question. Was there alcohol or drugs involved?
No.
She was throwing goldfish at the dead possum.
Two things I have in my trunk are goldfish and window washer fluid.
I wonder what flavor.
And she's yelling, "Repent" at the dead possum. Oh, guys, I couldn't. What would you do in that scenario?
YouTube. I mean, videotape that junk, right?
100%.
Where's the video of that? You don't just watch that happen. You got to capture that and get on Good Morning America.
Sure.
Right?
Guys, that next to Bigfoot would be the two times I would whip out my phone and let's start recording.
Those are the only two things. Woman resuscitating. Well, she wasn't resuscitating. That would have been funnier. But
that would have been better.
Exercising. Yeah, that's the word.
Exercising the demons?
Yeah, from the possum.
That would be one of the things.
Like goldfish.
Yeah. Once she opened that thing and started getting the goldfish out, I'd be like, oh.
It sure wasn't like holy water.
This is gold.
And not like washer fluid? It was just a.
I mean, you're not gonna put holy water in a washer fluid container.
I'm just asking questions.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I think of what two things you might have at church. If you go to church, it might be holy water and goldfish.
Well, if you go to this church, you're gonna have donuts and then grapefruit juice, or not grapefruit
juice,
but
man.
grape juice. Yeah. Goodness.
I mean, grapes a fruit and it has a juice. So I guess I see where you're going there.
Golly, tough crowd tonight. Producer Brian, do you have any SFP headline promos?
Oh yeah, this week on this old Southern Fried Headlines. I don't have my document open. A big dog wearing a tie becomes mayor of a small Colorado town.
Is it a Trump tie?
No, it's just a big dog.
Just
He's wearing a tie and glasses, and he's a mayor of a Colorado town. 5-hour hostage situation in an Irish prison is diffused with a Mars bar.
Of course.
A woman is accused of robbing a 7-Eleven, and then later she comes back and tries to rob them or use movie money to buy more stuff in the same clothes. A naked man got on the red line in Chicago and disappeared.
Oh.
A woman with a bullet in her head.
Disappeared?
Yeah, apparently they shut down, they rerouted all this traffic because some naked dude got on the subway.
Uh-huh.
So first of all, they made it go up on the L line instead of through the city.
Okay.
Or underneath the city. And then they couldn't find the dude.
Oh, snap.
Chicago, it's February.
Snap.
It's probably colder than it is here, I imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Snap.
Yeah. A woman with a bullet in her head is given a Band-Aid to the hospital. And then McGruff, the crime dog.
Hey, buddy.
Gets 16 years in prison. So.
Come on, McGruff.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Those are over on the Southern Fried Headlines. They'll be up in the morning. By the time you hear this episode, they are alive and ready for consumption.
I really do enjoy that podcast.
Well, somebody does. I've also started tweeting out just different stuff I see during the week that doesn't necessarily go on the show because I don't want to read it all, but I've been posting some random stupid links.
Nice.
So
Great.
follow the Twitters and the Facebook, and you'll see those there.
Will do. All right, so let's go into some hot topics brought to you by Hook, Line, and Heroes, 501c3 organization that provides fishing trips and a relationship with God to our veterans. You all right there, Producer Brian?
Yeah, I'm just looking ahead on the document here. That's all.
Before it gets hotter, remember the sea otter. In Tucson, Arizona, the Center for Biological Diversity gave away more than 40,000 free endangered species, should we say prophylactics?
Oh, I'm not spelling that on the show notes.
Yeah, no, don't do that. On Valentine's Day, the most Hello Time satisfied cities in the country to help couples consider population growth threats to wildlife and the planet. The colorful packages include species threatened by human population growth with slogans like "Wrap with care, save the polar bear," and "When you're feeling tender, think about the hellbender." They will be distributed by the center staff and volunteers of Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Cincinnati, Salt Lake City, and San Antonio, Denver, Austin, Boise, Chicago, and Columbus, Ohio. These cities deemed to be Men's Health top-rated 10 cities for Hello Time satisfaction.
Were those cities included in the poll we saw last week?
None of those were in the poll.
Okay, best places to live?
None.
You think that would be related?
You would think.
Right, okay.
That would be one of the top things to do. During Valentine's Day, they sent these condoms out. Oh, I just said it. I just said the word.
Oh,
So,
no.
There we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, we just
You
lost our
You
explicit.
didn't.
We just lost our explicit rating. Anyway, so they're colorful packages. Guys, would this help with the Hello Time, you think?
Help?
I still don't even understand. So we're going to protect the endangered species by producing colorful one-time use products that can end up in the environment. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I love about the story.
So this is a nonprofit organization that probably received government funds, tax dollars
Are these
to print these.
biodegradable?
No.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, this totally makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're trying to reduce human population by just messing up more environment.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean,
Check.
if to be more effective, the animal should be represented on the product. Like
Like in a
it should be
shape.
a polar bear, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Or was the sea otter? Was that one of them?
But
Yeah.
here are the list of these. So, can't refrain. Remember the whooping crane. Before it gets hotter, remember the sea otter. Wrap with care, save the polar bear. Fumbling in the dark, think of the monarch.
That's the butterfly for those who can't keep up.
Right.
Yeah.
For the sake of the horned lizard, slow down the love wizard. When you're feeling tender, think of the hellbender. Those were the packages.
Just put a hat on Herman the One-Eyed German. You could have came up with some more creative names like Frankie the French Tickler.
All right, I just have a show title here.
This seems like one of the most pathetic attempts to save the planet that I've ever heard of.
I admire the chutzpah. But come on. Yeah.
Remember the
This is like this would be like a bad box of like Garanimals or something, you know, the sea otter and Bushy the beaver and Cletus the clam and whatever. This is horrible. This is like a bad circus graham cracker animal box. It's like the things that didn't make the cut during church. So we got these Pornhub.com animal crackers.
The 1812 barbecue story started over 20 years ago when Eric and his dad started entering local barbecue competitions for fun. During that time, Eric, a United States Marine, has traveled all over the world picking up flavors and techniques that today is the unique flavor of the award-winning 1812 barbecue. He has honed his craft to bring you fall-off-the-bone pulled pork, mouth-watering ribs, and finely crafted beef brisket. Eric has developed his own amazing dry rub and delicious barbecue sauce. And let's not forget the sides: coleslaw, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, cowboy baked beans, and to top it all off, banana pudding and pecan pie for dessert. Getting hungry yet? Good. Call or email Eric at 1812 Barbecue, and he can make your next catered meal happen. Wedding and graduation parties, family reunions, and other events will be memorable with 1812 Barbecue. Want to try your own hand at smoking meats? Pick up your own 1812 dry rub and start the journey for yourself. Shipping all over the world, connect with Eric on his Facebook page, Instagram at 1812 Barbecue, or call 704-604-5148, or email Eric at eric.line@1812barbecue.com, and he'll be glad to help any way he can. It's a box that you'll get at the website of different animals.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And a recyclable box.
One-time use.
A clam. All right. Moving on. Speaking of clammy things, let's talk about the Democratic national debate. It was in South Carolina this past week. Did you guys take a gander at any of it?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
I watched all three hours, by the way.
Did you really?
I did.
Congratulations.
Tk you.
Were
That's
you
awesome.
like in a chair, like duct tape with
What-
your eyes peeled
What's
open?
your take on it? Give us your take.
Well, I didn't. I should say I had it on for 3.5 hours. I watched about 10 minutes and then I fell asleep. I'm just kidding. I thought, at the get-go, everybody was like, no pardon intending, they were lynching Bernie Sanders. We'll talk about that here in a minute. They were all over him, trying to just, bring him down, trying to call out names and all that kind of stuff. Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that made the most sense, and I know I'm not voting for him, but I think out of all of those candidates, I think the one that made the most sense was Bloomberg.
Well, what did he say that?
I think, and here's the thing: every one of them said the phrase, "I can beat Trump."
Mm-hmm.
All of them just said, "I can beat Trump. I can beat Trump." Bloomberg was the only one that said, I can work with other Republicans and Democrats to get bills passed. Everybody was all about just beating Trump, beating Trump, beating Trump. He was the only one that seemed like he was willing to actually do some work and cross party lines. He was even brought out on the debate how he helped fund some of the Republican candidates in other elections with his own money. So, to me, it feels like that he would probably be the one that could cross party lines a little bit more than Warren or Sanders or Biden. Here's ultimately, it's going to come down to Sanders, Bloomberg, Biden, and Mayor Pete on if there's a wild hair that goes crazy. Out of all three of those, Sanders is going to be horrible for the country. Biden hasn't done anything even while he was VP or anything else.
But he was there.
He was there on Obama's coattail. Now, I don't agree with most of the policies that Bloomberg has put into place, but maybe there could be some back and forth between him and somebody else. So,
Right.
I didn't watch it. I can't stomach any of that crap. So,
I think watching them, especially interact when they kind of got all talking, the moments where they're all talking and stuff, they'd be like running out of pudding at the geriatric nursing home, and they're all of a sudden they only have one flavor left, and then all of a sudden all the geriatric, of course they got that one young nephew happened to show up on Sunday that one time a month, but yeah, they all just look like just a pissed off fisticuff.
right.
Also, I've also determined that and you can send all your damaging emails hateful emails to me, but I think pretty much they're pandering to the majority Democratic base that claim they're Democrats. The people that don't know how to manage money, work for a living, and just want more free stuff. Because you look at Bernie, and Bernie was asked by, I think, Anderson Cooper, how are you going to pay for universal health care? Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's $30 trillion, but it's got to be done. Okay, that's just one flipping plan that this guy has. $30 trillion for universal health care. And, of course,
what we need here, Rick, is universal health care and butterscotch pudding.
Well, that's probably the only flavor they have. But
I like butterscotch.
And then universal child care. Of course, everything's universal. Universal child care, universal free education, debt forgiveness. It's just all free.
Right,
free.
Sure.
So I honestly, I think they're pandering to the base of just people that don't want to be financially responsible. They just want free stuff. And that's, I'll debate anybody all day long. Bloomberg, he openly admitted that basically he bought candidates into positions.
He did, by the way.
I mean, basically, I got these people elected.
He came out of nowhere, right?
Well, it's because of money, because he has inserted so much cash.
I don't follow this stuff closely,
right?
Out of in the last 2-3 months,
yeah,
Bloomberg, everywhere. I know it's because he's bought everything, but just out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, he's basically buying, I think, 17 points right now in South Carolina just off of the ad dumps, because he's not been eligible in all these other states, Nevada, some of these other caucus states. He's not been eligible at all, but South Carolina is kind of his fire line right now. But he's trying to buy it, and he's also trying to buy Texas too. He's spent a boatload of cash in Texas trying to get it. But just think of the organizations he's trying to buy to influence policy. He's bought the Moms Against Guns of America, whatever the organization is, I can't remember now. Basically, the anti-NRA organization, every town or whatever, he's basically has funded so much money into that organization to change policy and, basic constitutional amendments. That's what he's trying to, that's the hill he wants to die on. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like it's like flaring up a hemorrhoid when you watch a Democrat debate, man. It rubs me raw. It just does, because, you have these people who, Bloomberg, who is an elitist, actually has done something with his life. He actually started companies and this and that. Tom Steyer has actually done this. They've actually put some of their money where their mouth is, and that's some admirable traits, but they're elitist. Bloomberg infamously quoted what a couple of years ago that farmers, it doesn't take anything to be a farmer. All you do is put, poke a hole in the ground, put a seed, water, and let the sun and climate do the rest of the stuff. I mean, that's basically all you got to do. I mean, so basically he insulted every person that's a blue collar worker. That's not some elitist white collar hedge fund, manager that he's basically, basically is what Bloomberg's an elitist. I mean, he doesn't care about the average working Joe. I mean, he doesn't. But as far as some of the things I think is working across party lines, sure, I think he could. The little weasel, I think he could. So, yeah.
It was interesting. And then there was a lot, and I know that they're pandering because most of the questions around half to 3/4 of the entire debate was centered around race in South Carolina.
That's my favorite thing.
I mean, there was just a lot of talk about that. And so, they're kind of pandering to the.
Well, I think it's either 80 or 85% of the registered Democrat voters in South Carolina are black.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's it. So I love how you have 7 white people on the stage, basically, also apologizing for being white, but also speaking that we can speak towards these issues.
Yeah.
I mean, when I hate making victims out of nothing. I mean, we're sitting there trying to basically saying, you know what? Yeah, you are not the majority of the ethnic group, therefore you're a victim. No, that's not how victimhood works. We don't. I mean, just the pandering, especially when it comes to race, and pandering when it comes to free stuff, just absolutely, it just wants me to gouge my ears and eyes out.
Does anybody have anything else that they wanted to say about it? I just thought, it was just everybody yelling at each other, which that was the first part.
That's the fun part.
That was the fun part. Everybody
reminds me of Christmas morning.
Well, and I think one of the fun parts was when Bloomberg called out Sanders and said that Putin's trying to buy his race too.
Yeah, that was a good one-liner.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Bloomberg. Anyway, I thought it was fun. It was a fun thing just to watch. All right, one other thing. This was my clickbait for the week. 4 lawmakers vote against House bill to make lynching a federal hate crime, cite government overreach. I'm just going to read that title back to you.
Okay, yeah.
And then get your thoughts.
Do that, yeah. 4
lawmakers vote against the House bill to make lynching a federal hate crime, cite government overreach. Your initial thoughts when you hear that?
Well, the clickbait headline makes you think, oh, these bastards.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But if you actually click the link and find out who they are,
yep.
Justin Amash is one of them. Thomas Massey was another. These are 2 stalwarts of libertarianism, and they don't want government overreach and extra penalties.
Mr. Brian, can I get your thought, everybody's thoughts, and then we'll go back to the actual article.
Oh, well, that clickbait is that's pretty inflammatory,
right?
Because yeah, who
doesn't want lynching to be a crime?
Yeah, that's like, I guess it sounds like it's going to be one of those where a bunch of other stuff is bundled in one bill, and that just happens
you would
to
think.
Yeah.
Magic Man, any thoughts?
Media doing their same old games again, trying to make money off of clicks.
Yep. So
I just clicked on it because
of that. Yep. Ted, you said so. Ted Yoho, which by the way, I would vote for him just because of Yoho.
Chocolate beverage is delicious.
Louis Gomart of Texas, Massey of Kentucky, and Justin Amash of Michigan are the 4. So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Go ahead.
I think sometimes these bills have the great intent in name only, but when you look at some of these bills, like, number one, a crime is a crime. Lynching is a crime already.
Right.
Correct? I mean, you can't go out just like willy-nilly, like, you know what, today's Taco Tuesday, tomorrow's Lynching Wednesday. I mean, it's not like you can go out and do that. I mean, we don't live in the freaking purge. So it's already a crime. And then when you elevate these things to hate, you limit free speech. I mean, and I know that kind of sounds like crazy talk, but, now we are so sensitive on certain things in protected classes that literally language is considered a hate crime. Mm-hmm. Like, you can be pissed off at someone, not know their sexual identity or gender preference, and
Okay,
then
boomer.
and then all of a sudden say something, and bam, you're in the midst of a hate crime. I mean, this is where it goes, and that's the reason why they voted against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The initial gut reaction, by the way, it passed 410 to 4.
Of course it did.
I mean, 410 people voted for it. They said that it's an overreach of the federal government, encroaching on the states' rights. The legislation, if enacted, would add lynching to the list of current criminal civil rights violations. The 4 basically were stating that it already falls under criminal jurisdiction of the states, and that they would then be able to then punish them from a state level versus a national, federal level. Also, creating federal crimes for matters that are normally handled by the state obscures the government, federal or state, to be responsible for investigating and prosecuting the crime. It gives power. This is key. Gives power to unelected federal officials whom voters can't directly hold accountable. Amash wrote in a series of tweets. So, your elected state officials can be held responsible. Some of the federal officials that aren't elected won't ever be held responsible if it doesn't get prosecuted.
You know, it should be a hate crime. Us
Twitter.
working until April the 15th, tax day, till we actually see our own income come in. The
That is
next,
true.
the April 16th is like the break-even day where you're like, all right, yeah, actually, the fruits of my labor are actually now going to my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a hate crime right there. You work 4 months of the year basically for the government. That's a hate crime.
It is frustrating.
Yeah.
Producer Brian, you had you wanted to talk about political endorsements.
Yeah, so, with all these light topics we have here tonight.
Yeah, easy peasy.
I crawled out from my rock last week, and saw I think the first one I saw was like the Observer was endorsing, maybe it wasn't the Observer, a candidate. I forget who it was. Like a newspaper was saying, we endorse this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of tilted my head. Like, I think it's been happening for a long time, but I've never noticed it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys have talked about this in the past, or if anyone ever talks about it, or you just kind of go, oh, those silly newspapers, and, it keeps going or not. But it's just, I saw that, and I saw a tweet today about, I think it was like the Boston Globe was endorsing Warren or something like that. It's like, and I read half the article, and just like, what are they, I mean, that's not your job, right? As a newspaper and a media, I don't know. I think we need to hold the media to higher accountability for each of themselves.
Yeah,
they're all pushing the agenda. They're all selling ads. They're not trying to inform anymore.
I think news and journalism died when Tom Brokaw retired. Like there's no more journalism.
Well, actually, I think he retired because he was caught lying.
Oh, was that it?
Dan Rather, was he okay?
Oh, maybe Dan Rather.
Yeah.
Maybe Dan Rather.
Who am I thinking of? Maybe it was Dan Rather. He was he was the good one, right?
He had a great voice. I know that.
Yeah.
I
But
think
journalism's just
no, there's no such thing as journal. See, the reason why we have freedom of speech also is the protection of the press, the freedom of the press. That's part of the freedom of speech. We've always held our press what we consider the fourth estate, something that was part of the separate and a part of the government to keep everybody accountable. We don't have that anymore. That's the reason why you have quote unquote alternative news now. You have other places you can get your source, your information, versus just these landmarks that have been around for 100+ years. I mean, I think that we don't hold them accountable. We do hit the clickbaits. Really, come on. When's the last time anyone's ever been influenced by a newspaper endorsement for a candidate? I think New York Times, I think their track record right now is they haven't picked a straight candidate or whatever on an endorsement in like 63 years or something. I mean, because I think the New York Times came out. This is the pandering of the Times. I think it's New York Times or New York Post. I can't remember. Came out pandering. They couldn't put their the full swing of their endorsement behind Elizabeth Warren. So they put half of their support against with Elizabeth Warren, and then just to cover their bases on the other side of the community of the minority, they covered Pete Buttigieg. So just to cut that way, they have all the minority. You got the Cherokee Nation vote, you got the woman vote, you got the gay vote, you got the
all around. It's a pie chart.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. So you pretty much get covered.
Yeah, and I think about the people that, like the actual journalists that probably work at these papers that may be a Republican or may not, but like they don't agree with what the paper's doing. Like your employer is making this blanket statement.
Yeah.
How do you swallow that, right? If you're really into politics, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's questions to be asked.
You know what's frustrating me about the political season? One, the ads, and then two, like all the extra crap in the mail I'm getting. Like I'm getting all these giant postcards for vote for this person, vote for, and I just throw them away.
Maybe they should put endangered species on them.
Oh, there we go.
Remember the clam.
We need a clever.
Makes it vote for Sam.
If you want to rock out with your cock out, or you want to jam out with your clam out.
Oh no. If you want to yang, what was the yang one? If you want to yang out.
Yang out with your.
Yeah.
I mean, follow the rhyme. What's the listeners can complete that one themselves.
Yeah. It's a choose your own adventure Mad Libs. Anyway, so that's going to wrap up our show, which probably needs to wrap up anyway. I see what you did. Go ahead and send us out.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Go to our Facebook page, Southern Fried Philosophy. Give us a like there. Also share our page. If you can, go to our website, southernfriedphilosophy.com. We have our playable links. You can find us on the Googles, Google Play, the iTunes, the Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast. Just go there, hit a subscribe, a review, give us a rating. Also, don't forget, sign up to be an organ donor. I'm about to almost celebrate my 4th anniversary.
Is it really 4
years?
years?
4 years. It'll be March 26th. So 4 years, still kicking.
Wow.
And it keeps it ticking and a licking, whatever. Appreciate you guys.
And as always, keep looking up.